Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'm going to make this as short as I can. The questions that I was asking in the very back were incredibly pointed questions because I think it's important that we understand that there is, I'm going to say it one more time and I'm going to connect the two. We have over $5 billion in Medicaid fraud right now that has not been found. We currently, today, have billions, and at the same time, we have taxpayers that are desperate to not be taxed out of their own home. This amendment is tone deaf. It is beyond tone deaf to come in and expand a program where we have not fixed the issues with fraud all over. In fact, we did not even do our amendment today to allow the Attorney General to investigate that Medicaid fraud. It was moved to Article 11, so God knows if it'll get on, and he's about the only one. And so here we are, wanting to expand Medicaid in the process of looking at potentially $6 billion in property tax relief. Members, last session, we had just over $12 billion in property tax relief, new relief, and my constituents are still being taxed out of their own home. Many of them, their taxes were raised. And here we are expanding Medicaid. It's tone deaf. I hope you'll join me in voting no.
Speaker.
Mr. House, for what purpose?
Will the member yield for questions?
Does the gentleman yield for questions?
I will.
Mr.
Gentleman
Schatzline.
yields.
Thank you for the opportunity. You know, you brought up from the back mic and the front mic the issue of Medicaid fraud. And it's an important topic, I think, for all of us, and we need to address it. And specifically, though, the services that we're about to vote on are directly addressing the folks that need it the most in the state of Texas. Your constituents, as well as mine, and all 150 members in this House. The alluding that the fraud is coming from those that are actually receiving these services, that's the issue that I'm a little bit concerned about. Were you aware of the actual data with respect to who is committing this Medicaid fraud?
I am aware of some of the situations of who's
Do you have the
committing
data,
Medicaid
the
fraud,
percentages?
But I would shift your focus back to the very reality.
Mr. Schatzline, the question was...
I'm aware of the question, and I'm answering it in this way.
Are you aware of the percentages, Mr. Schatzline?
I'm aware that our constituents are being taxed out of their home right now.
Are you aware of the percentage, Mr. Schatzline?
What I'm aware of is that my constituents are begging for property tax relief, and this is the topic we're debating tonight.
Members, please do not talk over each other so that everyone can hear y'all's debate.
Mr. Schatzline, the Office of the Inspector General in Texas has actually run data on this. Were you aware that the home health agencies were the ones that were involved in the most fraud at 27 to 29%? Were you aware of that?
I'm so excited that the Office of the Inspector General is investigating this, and I am concerned about the taxpayer who is listening to the Texas House expand Medicaid right now while they're being taxed out of their home.
Were you aware that physicians were also involved in 18% of those Medicaid fraud cases?
I am aware of veterans that cannot afford to pay their property taxes right now as we're debating Medicaid expansion.
So that is a no. And were you aware that durable medical equipment suppliers were also involved to the tune of 15 to 18% of all Medicaid fraud?
I'm aware of the single mothers who can't afford to purchase a home and get themselves out of poverty because of the property taxes in the state of Texas. I'm aware that moms can't put gas in the tank right now. And this right here, this is what we are debating at the same time for Medicaid expansion.
So that is a no again. So the issue is that over 60 to 61% of all the Medicaid fraud that occurs actually takes place by those in the executive field, home health care agencies, medical equipment providers, and physicians. Your actions right now in asking this legislative body to vote no is actually hurting and impeding the folks that need it the most for acts that were done by those that are actually providing services. Tell me how and in what world we can live in where you're actually punishing those that are receiving the services for the acts that are being committed for those providing the services. We should have a strong Attorney General that addresses this and strong criminal action against those folks. But you're targeting the wrong people, Mr. Schatzline, the people that are receiving the benefits. If the data showed that it was actually the people receiving the benefits, then I could see why you wouldn't want to expand Medicaid. But tell me where in a world where 60 or more % of all the Medicaid fraud is taking place from home health care agencies, physicians, and medical equipment suppliers, how that in any way services the people that need this most.
Here's the deal. I absolutely love your concern. I love your concern of the Medicaid fraud, which is why I am so excited that you will be helping me in making sure that we fully fully fund the Officer of the Attorney General to investigate this Medicaid fraud?
As soon as you vote yes, sir, I will be the first one to fully fund so that we can go bad after these rogue actors that are creating this disparity, and they're hurting most Texans where they need it the most. And if you recall, there is a purpose by which we are doing this, and this purpose is to help the most vulnerable. How we treat those most vulnerable says a lot about us, and I think that we're a better representative body when we take care of our own and we uplift everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.